Wang Yibo takes a terrifying fall during an intense rock climbing training in New York, and Xiao Zhan's emotional reaction leaves fans heartbroken. What really happened that night? And why did it bring Xiao Zhan to tears? New York City, the concrete jungle where dreams are chased and sometimes almost shattered. Inside a high-tech indoor climbing gym, Wang Yibo was pushing his limits once again. Not for a film, not for a show, but for himself, for growth, for the challenge. The cameras installed by staff were rolling quietly, capturing the raw determination in his eyes. He chalked his hands, took a deep breath, and stepped forward. Every movement was sharp, trained, fearless. Fans have always admired Yibo's courage, whether skating, riding motorcycles, or pulling off dangerous stunts. But that night, the challenge he faced was different. The walls were steeper, the pressure was higher, and the world, completely unaware of the seriousness in that moment. As he climbed higher, tension filled the air. His body twisted into difficult positions, muscles trembling as gravity tried to pull him down. Even the instructors watching from below exchanged concerned looks. But Wang Yibo did not stop. He never stops. Then, the unexpected happened. His foot slipped. Time froze. The sound of his harness catching came a split second late, just enough to hear the terrifying impact of his body hitting the padded ground below. A sharp gasp echoed through the gym. Staff rushed toward him. The camera shook violently, recording chaotic footsteps and panicked voices. The most fearless man suddenly looked fragile on the ground, and fans who later saw the leaked footage felt their hearts drop with him. Was he okay? Was the injury serious? Why was he even taking such a dangerous training alone, far from home? Questions began flooding across global fandom communities. And somewhere else, thousands of miles away, a familiar heart was breaking. Xiao Zhan, the first person outside the gym to hear what had happened. The moment the call came, he paused. The moment he watched the video clip, he froze. The two artists may live separate public lives now, but their history remains stitched into each other's journey. And seeing someone he once stood beside during their hardest days suddenly fall like that, Xiao Zhan's eyes turned glassy. He covered his mouth with his hand. He whispered Yibo's name like a fragile prayer. Fans who caught his emotional reaction through insiders described him as visibly shaken, unable to hide his fear and concern. It wasn't the reaction of a coworker. It was the reaction of someone who once cared deeply and still does. He kept asking the same question over and over. Is he really okay? Is he awake? The silence on the other end of the call only made his worry heavier. In online fan communities, conversations exploded. Xiao Zhan cried. Did he rush to contact Wang Yibo? This bond really never disappears. Every update about Yibo's condition was shared like a lifeline. Every speck of news about Xiao Zhan's response triggered emotional storms. This wasn't just about an injury. It was about the reminder of how fragile their world really is. Hours later, the situation became clearer. Wang Yibo regained his composure, slowly getting back on his feet with the help of trainers. Though visibly in pain, he brushed dust off his palms and insisted he was fine. His determination was stronger than the fall. Let's continue later, he said quietly. That's Yibo, a man who refuses defeat, even when his body begs him to stop. Medical staff later confirmed. No serious injuries, just bruises, just another scar added to the long story of his courage. But emotionally, it hit different. People realized once again that the idols they admire are not invincible heroes living in a perfect world. They bleed, they fall, they fear, they cry, they endure loneliness as they chase greatness. Meanwhile, Xiao Zhan finally received the message he needed. Yibo is safe. Only then did his breath soften. Only then did that tightness in his chest loosen. He didn't say much, only a small smile of relief. And fans? Their hearts melted. Two separate paths. One moment of fear, a bond that quietly endures. The incident quickly spread worldwide. Hashtags exploded across platforms. Hashtag Stay Strong Wang Yibo. Hashtag We Are With You Yibo. Hashtag Xiao Zhan Cares. Fandoms that once clashed stood together. They shared supportive messages, beautiful fan art, and emotional edits of both stars. News outlets praised Yibo for his bravery and commitment to mastering every challenge thrown his way. But there was another conversation too, one that fans whispered softly. Does Xiao Zhan still care this much? Are their hearts still connected, even from afar? Maybe some bonds never break. The world may not know what their relationship truly is, friendship, brotherhood, or something deeper in the memories of fans who loved watching them together. But one thing became undeniable. When Yibo fell, Xiao Zhan hurt. And when Xiao Zhan worried, the entire fandom cried with him. This moment wasn't about fame, wasn't about ships, wasn't about speculation. It was about humanity, the pure, unspoken emotion between two souls who once shared everything on the battlefield of spotlight and survival. Tonight, New York lights shine a little differently. They shine on a fighter who stood up after falling, and on a friend whose tears reminded the world of the heart behind the fame. This wasn't the end of their story, not even close. As Wang Yibo prepares to return to training, fans stand ready to support every step, every climb, every risk he takes. And Xiao Zhan, he'll be watching, silently cheering, always caring, even from a distance. So, will this emotional moment bring them closer again? Will we witness a new chapter between two stars who once changed everything? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain. Our hearts will never forget this night.